Welcome back as we talk Ponca City football this week with the head coach of the Wildcats, Rob Fry. The Wildcats begin a string of 3 straight home football games this Friday night, with the Union Redskins coming to town on Friday, and then Sand Springs the following Thursday night, and then Bixby. So Wildcat fans, you'll get a good chance for 3 weeks in a row not to have to travel and see the Wildcats play. Cats are 1-5 on the year. They welcome in the Union Redskins this week, and for the first time since 1997, Tulsa Union lost a district high school football game this past week as Owasso beat Union 41-38. So it's not as if we needed Union to come to town any madder than they normally are, but when Coach Fred and his team come over on Friday night, Coach Fry, they will be coming off of their first loss in district in 14 years.
Yeah, I talked to him Saturday, and he, wasn't too happy. They're kind of shell-shocked over there at that point in juncture. But they, like he said, sun come up Saturday morning, and they'll come over here in a bad mood. And the thing about it is they lost their starting quarterback too, from what I gather. So they'll have to come over here and work on some things, and it's what it is, and we're gonna go play them.
They lost their starting quarterback, they lost their starting tailback, they lost their best wide receiver, and they lost their top defensive player. So, there's a reason why Owasso made a 2-touchdown comeback on them there in the fourth quarter. Owasso came back, and we know this feeling. Owasso scored with 10 seconds to go. We know that feeling. So, it's a sick feeling, but the other thing is Union has so many players, Coach. I know you and I aren't going to feel too sorry for them.
Right. I mean, and that's the way it is. You have 100 and some out on the roster, and so you just put somebody else in. I mean, that's the way it is with a program like that. And we talked this summer. Union and Owasso were the first 2 teams that come to mind in the district, and the rest of us fighting it out for the rest of the stuff. And that's what it boiled down to last Friday night. That was evidently a great high school football game. So. Then they're coming to town Friday night, so we'll just have to take care of business this week and, do what the cards deal us.
Well, I look at scores, Coach, and 2 other teams you have here coming up, Sand Springs and Bixby, are playing much better now than they were a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked to Sand Springs or I haven't talked to Enid, so I don't know what took place over there Friday night. But, when Sand Springs put up 56 points, I think it was, and Enid 20-something, and then Bixby, finally got the first W of the year, which I knew they would somewhere down the line, and because they're a good football team. So it's who plays the best on given Friday night is the bottom line, and who doesn't make the mistakes, and who takes advantage of everybody else's mistakes. So it's going to be a tough old road to haul.
Wildcats lost to Stillwater last week. Rob, Stillwater, a very explosive team, but there's another team which just seems like they are really rounding into playoff form right now. I'd be surprised if they don't make the playoffs. Their defense is playing better. That's the one area we thought we might be able to get them on, and their offense is one of the best in the state.
Right, and they got some of those kids out of the gym, and they got some great athletes over there, and they got some speed and they had something to prove, Friday night, and they came out and proved it. And their defense has greatly gotten a lot better, and they were twisting and doing some stunts in there that we couldn't handle, and they didn't have time to throw the ball and couldn't run the thing. So it just wasn't a good night for us. But I give all the credit to Stillwater because they've got things going over there, and they had a statement to make, and they made it.
The one area of the game that I wanted to kind of talk to you about was Jake Didlake, though. You used him a lot at quarterback, and we've seen him catch the ball this year and run it, but a lot of people don't realize he serves as your backup quarterback, and I thought he played real well.
He played very well. He came in there, when things weren't good. So, I mean, he does what he has to do. I mean, he has grown into a good, very, very good athlete. And so he can take up where Brent's left off, and then he can run the ball, and he can go play a receiver also. So he's come on. We've got some young kids that need to step up and do some things. So but I was happy for Jake to come out and do some right things. Let's put it that way, and things that maybe we can. Okay, let's put this back in our mind, and we can go ahead and do with this for next week and the next week and work on that. So yeah, he did come out and play well.
Let's talk about your union preparation. Obviously, you're preparing for a team that I still think, even though they lost a game, I still think most people would agree that they are the favorites to win the state championship. How do you approach this week, Rob? Just another normal week? Do you put anything extra in? Obviously, the guys know what a challenge it's going to be.
They do. They read the newspapers. They play them every year and all that stuff. They know what's going on. But no, Phil, we don't, putting a bunch of stuff in offensively or defensively, because they're very vanilla on what they do. But what they do very well. And, that's, not a brain surgeon statement or anything, but they're going to get in too tight. They're going to get in pro. They're going to get in spread. And they're going to get in trips. And they're going to run the zone read, and they're going to run the counter, and then they're going to play action pass it, and then the drop back passes. So, I mean, they have nothing that's, hard to get ready for. It's just that they come out and they will hit you, and they'll do what they've got to do to win a ball game.
The one thing, because all these teams have good quarterbacks, most of them have good receivers, good running backs, but when you watch Stillwater and Union, and even if you go back to Enid and Bartlesville, these teams are able to run the football to kind of set up their pass, and that's a luxury that your kids just haven't had this year.
We don't have that. I mean, we don't have the speed, and I hate to say it, but we're getting out athleted, and that's the bottom line. And we don't have the speed that everybody else has got, and people got to be able to see that on Friday nights. And I tell you what, the assistant coaches do a great job. They do a super job on game planning, getting kids ready, and trying to, just staying in ball games, which we have had in the past. Here lately we haven't, but here, last week we weren't. But, they do a great job of that. But other teams can run the ball because they have that mentality, and we just have not gotten there yet. And, I thought maybe at the first year we were going to be able to, but, we just haven't had it done, got it done.
Coach, good luck this week in preparation.
Well,
and Friday night at 7:30, it's Ponca City against Tulsa Union at Sullen Stadium. For Coach Fry, Phil Turney, on this week's Coach's Corner.